This is Rogers TV.
Good evening, everybody. How are you doing tonight? It's your boy DC, and this is Out of the Fog. We're just a local matter show going right across the province, getting the cool kids on the couch to talk about everything we're doing to make this province a better place to live, work, and have a time. Tonight is no exception. It is winners only on the couch tonight. The Honorable Andrew Parsons coming through to talk about the Business Navigator program and everything it has to say for business owners across the province looking for a little help, because we are. Then the next guest we have coming through is the incredible Sean Stack, a multi-business owner, community supporter, and he is the president of the Business Association of Newfoundland and Labrador. He's going to talk about the work that he does for folks, being a member of the association, supporting local, and everything beyond. You're going to see that. And then finally, Brady Huckster. He is a filmmaker extraordinaire. If only he was easy on the eyes. We'll figure it out. Anyway, he's coming through to talk about what he loves to do, telling stories, getting to the heart of the matter, and making it look easy. I'll tell you what, all this and more happening tonight, right here on Out of the Fog. We'll see you after the break. Welcome back, everybody. This is Out of the Fog, and I'm so excited to have a first-time guest of such caliber. I can't believe my lucky stars. Minister Parsons, how are you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Thanks for having me on. It's awesome. This is really cool.
Well, this is where we get down in the streets and talk about what's going on, right? You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And so I'm in good company here tonight because, you know, as someone who is out myself in the streets, seeing who's moving and shaking and making things happen, you are near the top of that list. What led you into the work that you do for us here in the province?
Well, it sounds like it's a lot. I guess I would say a couple of things. I was never political at all growing up, but did have, my father got into it when I was a bit older.
Okay.
And so having watched him as I was an adult and then being involved in the community has sort of evolved into that. But I'm not like, I've got a lot of friends and colleagues who like sort of, that was their dream. Like they were super political. That was not me one bit, but it just sort of got that way because if you're from a small town, small area, and you're involved in the community, I volunteered and did all the things that we all did, and it just led here, and I've been so lucky. I've had a really nice long career. I've had a hell of a lot of fun, gotten to meet a lot of really great people, and like I said, I've had a ride. It's been great.
You're just getting started.
Sadly, even the good rides have to end. So I am on the way to the other side, but yeah. I've had a great ride.
Well, I love to hear it. And listen, you know, just to give flowers to the folks from your region and your community, where are you from?
So I'm from Port aux Basques. So the political district is Burgeo-Lapoil. Right. Small, you know, little isolated district to the, you know, right to the southwest, but it is the hidden gem of the province. And I've been lucky. They keep giving me this chance to do this job. And hopefully I've done good by them. And you don't get to do this unless they give you that. And so I've been super lucky. But I think at the same time, I think they know I've worked hard for them, and I've tried the best I could do. It's like I say, it's still, you know, I love that place. It is the best.
Well, listen, I'll tell you what, man. The headlines over the last couple of years, you know what they've been through, and so to have someone like you at the helm who's of that region, who can speak to the people on their level and help them through such a challenging time, I can only imagine that was one of the scenarios that unfold under your tenure that you never expected. But looking back, you're proud of the work you did.
It was absolutely the toughest thing. So I've been almost 14 years in this role. It's absolutely, bar none, the worst. Yeah, it's the worst we've been through as a community and as a region.
Absolutely.
And you know, I think government really showed up. I mean, the Premier really stepped up, and my colleagues, like they all came around. But I was lucky too. Like we had people. The mayors, like Mayor Brian Button, and the town councils and staff, like it was a team effort. So like as good as the work I think as the provincial government did, everybody banded together, like the Salvation Armies and your councils and your volunteers, the students and teachers, everybody. But that's the silver lining. Yeah. But it still really sucked. It's just, I can't say enough. It was really tough. It still has a lingering and lasting effect on the community when you lose that many homes, when you lose, you know, we lost a person that was, you know, a friend of many of us. So I wish it never happened, but.
Well, proud of how you did.
Well, you know what? That was the silver lining, that there was a lot of community get together after it and, you know, right after. So you got to take the good when you can.
No doubt. And so much good to talk about. And so I'll talk about this now, which is, you know, one of the things we'll be hanging out here about today. As a businessman, as I like to think I am most days, the new program that you guys are bringing through is definitely something I was encouraged about and excited, and I would love for you to share more about that with the viewers right now.
Absolutely. So what we have, we announced it last year. It kicked off just in January of this year, and it's called the Business Navigator Program. Right. I'd love to steal the credit for the idea, but it was something that was brought to us actually by St. John's Board of Trade. Anne-Marie brought it to us. We talked about it, and it was a really cool idea. So starting at the fact that our department has this whole wide range of like different programming, funding, things that we do. But it can be, just within our shop alone, let alone entirety of government, it can be hard to get to navigate. So the idea was to have these specialized people who are your first point of contact and give you that one-on-one support. Okay, what is it you're trying to do? Are you a new business, existing business? What are the different issues you're facing? Is it licensing? Is it marketing? Is it programming? Is it permitting in another shop? Because the other thing too is, like, you can imagine when you're dealing with government, like, is it something over in Service and L? Is it something over in Crown Land? So we created this program where we essentially have people that will deal with you all the way through it, put you in the right direction, help you get through, and just hopefully make life easier. Plus give you a background on what we do have to offer in terms of these different programs. So, you know, it's only still new, couple months. We've had about 140 connections so far, whether it's like direct phone call, email, web portal, you name it. So we're just trying to get the word out that it is there. I think it's a really cool program. It can help people. It can make your experience with government hopefully less onerous at times, which is never a bad thing. So yeah, that's what we got. I mean, I think it's a good idea, and that's why I was happy when it was brought to me to jump on it.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. And listen, I'll tell you what, you know, insecurity and overwhelm, they're the two ingredients that'll get you every time. And in the world of business, I can say, you know, 15 years into my own journey, when you first get started, you're going on a mix of advice, a whole lot of gumption, and you're scared and you don't know where to turn and who to turn to, because there's so many opportunities, it seems like, but then you find yourself really chasing around. And so it's nice that the government is, you know, responding to that call via Anne-Marie and the amazing work that the Board of Trade do to create a program that helps it be a little bit less of a labyrinth. And there's so many things, as you say yourself, that come up when you run of a business day, especially when you're getting started, and, you know, funding and where to access funds and employment realities and everything under the sun. I mean, it is a gauntlet of responsibility that we have in the business trench. So it's pretty cool to hear the government has been doing this. And what's the response so far?
So the response has been really good. I mean, like anything, you have to build that awareness that it's there.
True that.
I guess issue is that people that are involved in business, or even if it's a tech startup or a small medium enterprise, they're so busy doing the work that they don't have time to frig around with all the legwork and applications and this and just finding it. So we're just trying to help. And the thing about it is, it's a pilot program. So as we see an issue, we'll incorporate that, or we'll change this or that. Like, we'll listen to the advice. But the first thing is, like anything, the people, we need to create the awareness so people will call. Once you get in, we'll help steer you, help get you to the right people. Some can be like super elaborate, like they have a ton of needs. Some can be just one thing. But in a lot of cases, it's frustrating. Any process, especially if you're involved with handing out taxpayer dollars, there has to be some due diligence, and people get frustrated. It takes time. I get that, but we're just trying to make life a little bit easier, and so hopefully the goal is at the end of the year we can look back and say, did it have any value? And if so, can we take what can we do to make it better, to grow it? The one thing I point out is that we wanted it deliberately to be not just like an urban or rural thing. It's anywhere. So we have St. John's, we have Clarenville, we have Corner Brook, or I don't care where you're from. You call in, we'll get you in the right people, the right services. So it is truly province-wide. And like I said, I just hope it goes well. You know, I think we've put the ingredients for success. Now people just got to take advantage of it, and it's our job to keep spreading the good word.
I love to hear it. And I'll tell you what, it's not just for new businesses.
No,
there are a
not at all.
lot of people suffering in silence for 15 plus years in their business trench who would love to have the answer to questions burning in the back of their head. But now, thanks to this organization and this department, there'll be more folks who are like, oh, maybe I will reach out and see if there's someone who finally has an answer to this problem.
Absolutely. Like, it is new or existing. They're both treated the same here. And to me, like you say, there's a lot of people that have been out there and they've been working so hard that sometimes I'll say, you know, I'm down at a concert last week, and I'm talking to guys involved in the business and just talking about one little program. He's like, oh, I had no idea. And so it's that creating that, and this person's been doing this for a long time, and just didn't realize. And why would you? So we're trying to make that easier, trying to continually proliferate the information and the availability. Like, we've got funding programs, we want to fund you, let's get it on, let's get
That's
going.
a refreshing conversation we're having here today, I'll tell you that. And you know, it's interesting to me because the future and the today of our province, entrepreneurialism and people who own business and are growing businesses in our province, to me, it's an important conversation. And we see the stats. And so we know we need to be doing everything we can to encourage new businesses to start to keep moving, because someone got to pay for those potholes. You know what I'm saying?
do I ever know that? That's the reality, is that when you live in a province that has a heavy reliance on, you know, obviously healthcare, education, you know, potholes, road repair, you name it, something pays for it. And what pays for it is business and investment and resource development, you name it. All that pays for that. We want to help business people, whether you're a small 1 to 3 shop or you've got over 100. We only want to make it better for you. We want you to grow, and that in turn is a win for us. So that's what we're trying to do, and we got to make it easier. We have to make it more likely that you're going to succeed. No, you know, you're never going to bat 100% on this.
We're trying.
But like we're trying, man. We're trying to get there, and hopefully, like I say, sometimes growth needs to be incremental.
True.
But I would rather slow, steady, incremental growth rather than these highs.
I agree with that.
That's never helps anybody.
Well, thank you so much. We'll keep hanging on. Thank you so much, Minister Parsons, for coming through. Love it.
Awesome.
Guys, I mean, he's the man, but you know the deal. You just hung out and heard us talk about all the good things. It is the Business Navigator program. You want to Google it, check out, get the information you need, and tell a business buddy in your life so they can get the help too. This is Out of the Fog. We'll be right back after this break.
You're watching Rogers TV St. John's.
Welcome back, everybody. This is Out of the Fog, and am I ever pumped to sit down with this guy? I mean, I see him every other Tuesday for a nice little luncheon and a shot of inspiration from any of the guests. Not only is he a licensed insolvency trustee, he works deeply with Powers and Associates, and he is the president of the Business Association of Newfoundland and Labrador. Where does he get the time? We're going to find out. Sean Stack, how are you?
Hey, great. How are you doing? Thanks for having me.
Doing great. I'm so glad you're here.
Yeah.
Now, listen, I want to say to you that you're a busy man, doing all the things that you do. You heard me hyping you up just now. So to move into the president seat at the Business Association of Newfoundland and Labrador is just one more thing for you to be at. What gives you the drive and the passion that you have?
What gives me the drive and the passion? Tough question. Just wanted to be active and be busy and be out and involved and meet people, see people, help people.
Is that what led you into the work you do as an insolvency trustee?
I think so, yeah. People wonder how I do that with the difficult conversations that you have to have. But there's a real rewarding element of it as you help people through the stress and the difficulties that they're experiencing.
Yeah, no, I bet. And so when it comes to leadership, you've had no shortage of opportunities in that regard, so many things that you're involved in. And now the Business Association, how important do you think community is to folks living that business life?
The community is essential. One of the great things about the Business Association, as you know, as a longtime member and former president, is that it's a group of business owners and managers and leaders that are there to help and support each other and build each other up and provide a shoulder when needed too. It's all about that.
And I'll tell you what, shoulders are definitely needed in biz life. And if any of you guys are watching and you might have a friend in business or you might have some experience with folks that are entrepreneurial, then you know what we're talking about. And the joke I loved the best when I was thinking about going into business and someone told me, oh, it sounds great, just pick whatever 80 hours a week you want to work and you'll be good to go. And boy, were they ever right, you know? And so it's interesting. These are some very interesting times that we're living in the business trenches, two business owners ourselves. And so when you think about the Canadian conversation and the importance of supporting local, what are your thoughts on all that?
I think it's essential, and it's one of the values of being in that association together is we're there and we're all local entrepreneurs and we're all there talking to each other about our own businesses and learning how we can support each other and what each other offers to one another. And it's the Home Hardwares of the world, the DC design houses of the world. Keeping that money local just goes so much further than sending it abroad.
Well, and thankfully we got Powers and Associates who also are keeping us moving in as well. And so putting your time into that, you must have a lot of experience in terms of guiding and helping business owners and leaders of organizations to really maximize what they're trying to do. Because as recently as this week, we had a conversation around you could be putting as much in the top of that bag of sand as you want, but if you don't have the proper controls at the bottom, I mean, what's it all for? So speaking of tax and year end and everything that you're dealing with over there, what are you seeing? And maybe for the folks that are watching us tonight and regarding you as the financial expert that you are, what do you got to say about tax season and the things that you see your clients typically either getting right or not so much?
It's a big question. At Power & Associates, it's a busy time of year, of course, as you know. Personal tax is due the end of April. If you're self-employed, taxes are due by mid-June, so right in the thick of that season. And as an insolvency trustee, I tend to see the fallout when things don't go well, right? So the important thing for anybody is to make sure that your taxes are being done correctly. And a lot of people, what they don't realize is that if they're trying to do it themselves, they don't necessarily know how to maximize making sure that they're keeping as much money as they can. So one thing is it might be money out the door to hire a professional to look after that for you, but it might be more money for you at the end of the day and in the long run. Another thing is, and I see this in the insolvency side a lot, is the fallout where if somebody is a really good massage therapist or they're a really good realtor or they're a really good carpenter, that doesn't necessarily mean that they're great at keeping the books and records of the company and making sure that their HST is filed on time and remitted properly and that their taxes are filed and maximizing what money they get to keep. So even though when you're trying to start a company and you're trying to save and scrimp and make sure that you can keep things on the up and up, it's a long-term play to think ahead and say, okay, if I outsource this element that I'm not the best at, so I can focus on the things that I do great, I will do better overall.
And I will say this to the camera before we cut, is if you are interested in developing community and getting some people around you a couple of times a month, you can break bread, have a laugh, and get someone to come in and inspire with guest speakers and events, the Business Association is for you. So do Google the Business Association of Newfoundland and Labrador. You're going to find me and Sean and all our business buds and budettes, and we get down, have lunch, and really make good things happen. So you want to be about that. So thank you so much. Come back to us again, will you?
Thanks for having me.
Of course. Guys, this is Out of the Fog, and we'll be right back after this break.
This is Rogers TV.
Welcome back, everybody. This is Out of the Fog, and I love it when the homies come through, especially uber talents. And you're going to meet one right now. Brady, what's going on?
This is it, man. Good to be here.
I'm glad that you're here.
It's exciting to be here. I've seen your face on the TV, and it's been a process. Now I'm happy to be behind the camera, or in front of the camera, I should
you
say.
are in front of the camera, and it's interesting because as a content creator, as a filmmaker who works so deeply in the craft, I see lately, for the first time actually, that you're actually saying to yourself, maybe I should come out from behind this lens and let people know who's who in the zoo.
Yeah.
What's that like as someone who's used to being behind the scenes?
Being behind the camera, right, has its comforts. It's what's drawn me creatively. But I've recently thought about it, right? If people are trusting me to be behind the camera, to be capturing them in their intimate moments, in their lives, documenting their stories, whatever it is, I think the people that are interested in having me there deserve to know a little bit more about who's behind the camera, who they're letting into their lives. And they're ultimately that much more likely to give you the content that you're looking for and the real depths of the story as opposed to just the superficial stuff.
Yeah.
And not only that, you know, people become more comfortable with you when they know who you are, as opposed to, again, just telling these details to some stranger. They get an idea of who they're dealing with, who they're working with, and that's my goal in trying to showcase a little bit more of who I am, my personality, and my brand.
Well, man, that was very well said. It's almost like you were driving up here and saying, I'm going to say...
You caught me.
I got you.
Do you want to look at the back of the hand?
Exactly.
All the notes are right there.
Yeah, exactly.
I just won't rub my face. You might have
I'll be
some
like, oh, wait, your next answer is right there on your cheek. But I'm going to ask you a question, you know, like we all come into creativity and our passions in different ways. You know, growing up, did you always have that passion for storytelling and watching that go down? And what led you into picking up the tools and really getting into the mix?
Yeah, nothing like a good origin story.
I know, right?
It's always been a thing. I've always been drawn to creativity, storytelling. Videography and filmmaking was a very natural fit. When I was younger, got a camera, JVC, Christmas time, right? One of those old point and shoots.
Yeah.
It was always something that interested me, but I think the real roots of the origin story were when I was younger, at home, lots of siblings, lots of boring days after school. We would sit down, shoot home movies, work together, creating like little twists and tales, all with the siblings, all within the house. That was shared then to, you know, parents, friends, and family friends, and families of families. Everyone would kind of tune in to what was being posted by the hucksters, what was being posted here or there. And then that kind of led then to my first opportunity to shoot a wedding. So someone was getting married in Springdale, where I'm from, little town of Springdale, not known for its wedding filmmakers, right? Not a huge selection. Someone asked around, said, hey, is there anyone that's available for this? We were like, no, this is, you know, Springdale, not exactly a lot on last minute demand. And they said, I know this young guy, he's got a camera, he's into creative stuff, no guarantees. They brought me on, they were like, yeah, we want you to film our wedding. End of the day, she gave me $100. The lights went off.
You're like, wait a minute.
You know, I'm 13 years old. She gives me $100. I'm like, I can make money with this thing, right? That led to one thing after the next, couple weddings a year here and there as I'm going through university. And then once I'm out of post-secondary, I kind of put pen to paper, try to go down this route. And then, you know, years later here, I find myself filming 20, 30 weddings a year, not only in the province, not only in the country, but all over the world. So.
Wow. Well, your work is insane. For a moment, the folks know how they can get at you in the trail below here. They'll see that again.
Yep.
And you're going to see a lot of that. And storytelling is really what it's all about. And it's interesting, you know, because you think you're getting wheeled in to capture the big day, but I'm sure that what actually goes on, man, is anything but typical, depending on the event and the nuances of all that.
Yeah, the thing that I try to capture really in my storytelling, I always make the joke that weddings are terrible at being able to tell a story because there's no conflict to then resolve, right? It's all resolution. It's all resolution. So what I'm trying to document on my wedding days, whether it be in my passion projects, but mainly I'll kind of focus on my weddings here, is the celebration as opposed to just the actual commitment of love. Of course, weddings, commitment of love between two people, but what I try to really emphasize is the celebration that you have with your family, with your friends, all your closest loved ones. It's a unique moment in that you may not have them all together under the one roof, under those four walls. Maybe you're outside, who knows? But point is, you don't have them all together maybe ever in your life again, right? So the way that you embrace that celebration is very unique. And I think the memories that I try to bottle, the things that I try to capture, only become more valuable each day that passes after the wedding, each year that passes after the wedding, right? It just becomes more preserved, more valuable as time goes on.
That's amazing. Listen, in our final little moments here, what is next for Brady Huckster?
What's next for Brady Huckster is the continued refinement of my brand, my personality. Like I said, I'm trying to inject more of myself and why I do what I do into my brand so people can receive that. But outside of the wedding game in general, I'm trying to find people to tell their story. So again, everything about my work comes back to storytelling and the way that I like to tell stories. So right now, my current project is I'm finding creatives in the community, entrepreneurs, people who've carved their path outside of the norm, people who have interesting stories to tell. And my goal is to sit down with these people, document them in their place, in their homes, in their craft, and really give them an opportunity to showcase what they do.
Well, I'll tell you what, sounds deadly to me. And I saw what you did for Elaine, and girl is a dime, and she's on the show once a year minimum.
Oh, she's
bringing
a fan
the joy
favorite.
Through,
She's
you know?
a fan favorite.
Yeah, she's a fan favorite. So there's a couple of special projects we got going on. So I'm looking forward to having Shannon come through in a month or so. And one of your amazing creations we're going to show end to end on this show. So I'm looking forward to that. And so will you come back and see us again sometime?
I'd love to.
I love it. Guys, Brady Huckster. He is the filmmaker, content creator, capturing those memories, telling those stories, and that's what we're here for. So check him out online and stay tuned for another upcoming show where one of his works is going to be featured, like I just said. This is Out of the Fog, and we'll be right back after this break. Welcome back, everybody. Well, what can I tell you about the show tonight? It's all about supporting local and giving back to the community and taking those leadership opportunities like Sean does. It's about really supporting business folks with all the programs and services to help us be a better and more successful province, like our Honorable Andrew Parsons. And of course, it's about telling stories, making magic, and coming together in the spirit of celebration like Brady told us. These are just three everyday folks who are caring, getting in the ring, making good stuff happen, and that's what we are here for. So we'll see you next time right here on Out of the Fog.
This program is brought to you by Rogers Xfinity, connecting you to more of what you love. Visit Rogers.com for more details.
We want to hear from you. Provide feedback on this show or find out how you can get involved. Call, email us, or scan the QR code to take our quick survey.
After a night out with your friends, not having a plan for a safe ride home can leave you in a bad spot. You could end up riding in a police car, an ambulance, or a hearse. These unplanned modes of transportation can be a costly choice and do not take you home. Your plan could include a designated driver, a taxi, or public transit. Drink responsibly, choose your ride, and have a plan for a safe ride home.
Visit arrivealive.org to find out more.
We invite you to play What's My Line?
Welcome, Mrs. Baker. Those folks over there need to guess your extraordinary occupation.
Are you an entertainer, Mrs. Baker?
Yes.
Do people come to watch you perform?
Yes. Do you travel for work? Yes, I do.
Do you ever wear a special type of costume?
Yes.
Is your job, physical?
Yes, indeed.
Are you a member of a team?
Yes.
Are you a professional baseball player?
Yes, I am.
Created during the Second World War, the All-American Girls Professional Baseball League included 68 Canadians. One of its brightest stars was my mother, Saskatchewan's Mary Bonnie Baker, a pioneer for women in sports.
We're in for something special. The best of the best. It's showtime, and away we go. We're going to drop the gloves right away. The rivalry